Hello, friends. The crisis surrounding Guardiola and Manchester City continues. They have only won once out of their last 13 games. But what if we told you that Guardiola is about to fix everything? The transfer window is opening, presenting the perfect opportunity to turn things around. In January, the entire football world will be watching Manchester City. Guardiola has already announced that the club will make big signings to refresh the squad. And we're ready to reveal these names and analyze 5 insane transfers that Manchester City could pull off this January. Before we start, don't forget to like this video if you're also excited about this winter's transfer season. Alright, let's dive in, and we'll start with the hottest news. For years, there have been rumors that Guardiola has been keeping an eye on a Brazilian winger from Real Madrid. Yes, we're talking about Rodrigo. Spanish media reported back in September that Man City made an inquiry for Rodrigo, but the player turned it down. That was at the start of the season. Since then, much has changed both in Madrid and Manchester. With Kylian Mbappe's arrival, Rodrigo has taken a back seat. Injuries and Ancelotti's tactical decisions have limited his participation in key matches, which clearly frustrates him. It's tough to go from being in the spotlight, especially after his brilliant performances in the Champions League, to being sidelined. At the same time, one of City's biggest problems this season has been the underperformance of their wingers. Savinho hasn't lived up to the preseason expectations. Grealish fulfills Guardiola's tactical requirements, but has forgotten how to score or consistently provide assists. Doku struggles with consistency, showing only occasional flashes of brilliance. Rodrigo could solve this problem and become Man City's star winger. Right now, the Brazilian has a chance to join a top English club, help them out of their crisis, and become a key figure in a project alongside Erling Haaland. Rodrigo has everything he needs to realize his potential in England. Compared to his competition for the position, he's far more productive and reliable in crucial matches. Let's not forget the key goals he scored in Champions League clashes. Let's summarize and assess this potential transfer. Pros: bring stability to City's attack. A star signing would divert attention from Manchester City's crisis. Guardiola has admired this player for a long time. Cons: the transfer fee would likely be very high. Rodrigo's dream has always been to become a global star at Real Madrid. It's unclear if Rodrigo wants to change clubs this season, but we're confident Man City will make an attempt to pull this off. What do you think? Could this transfer happen, or should Rodrigo stay at Real Madrid and regain his best form? Share your thoughts in the comments. Moving on to one of the most important transfers Man City could make: strengthening their midfield. Martin Zubedi could be the ideal player for Pep. The team's major crisis began with Rodri's unfortunate injury. Guardiola himself confirmed that new midfielders are essential. Absolutely, we're struggling, especially in defense and midfield. I think we have to address this at all costs. The Spanish midfielder could be the solution for Manchester City. Fans and even the Spanish national team coach compared Zubedi to Rodri during the last European Championship. Beyond these comparisons, Martin brings a lot to the table. He perfectly fits Guardiola's system and understands it 100%. Playing for Real Sociedad has already prepared him for City's tempo. In Sociedad, Zubedi is one of the key players, excelling in both building attacks and breaking up opponents' plays. He's versatile and meets all of Guardiola's demands. Thanks to these qualities and the similar styles of both teams, he wouldn't need much time to adapt. Let's evaluate this potential transfer. Pros: a midfielder similar to Rodri, expected to come at a reasonable fee and salary, perfectly fits Guardiola's tactics. Cons: lacks visible ambition, could take a back seat once Rodri returns. British media report that Manchester City is ready to spend around £200 million on 2 midfielders. Financial issues won't be a problem, but the player must agree to the move. Last summer, Zubedi rejected a transfer to Liverpool, even though they offered better conditions than City. But this is football. Anything can change. Next on the list is Bruno Guimaraes, another midfielder who could save Man City's season. Bruno has consistently ranked among the best midfielders in the Premier League, and many clubs are monitoring his contract situation. He's a gem for Newcastle, as the defensive midfield position is rare, and Bruno combines universal qualities for building attacks, elite defensive skills, and, most importantly, he's already adapted to the Premier League. This makes him a foolproof option for Manchester City right now. Yes, Newcastle refused to sell him last season, but perhaps now is the perfect time for them to capitalize on his value. City needs a midfielder, and they're willing to spend big. The Telegraph and other reliable sources mention figures over £100 million. Let's evaluate this transfer. Pros: a proven, foolproof option. Already adapted to the Premier League, one of the best in his position. Cons: the transfer fee would be very high. Now, let's move on to the defensive line. A graduate of Man City's academy, a key player under Xabi Alonso at Bayer Leverkusen, and one of the brightest wingbacks in modern football, Jeremy Frimpong. The 24-year-old Dutchman has been on the radar of top English clubs for several years, but last summer, Xabi Alonso convinced him to stay at Bayer for at least one more season. Months have passed. Leverkusen no longer looks as stable as before, and it's likely that Frimpong will reconsider his decision in search of a new challenge. Given the criticism and memes surrounding Kyle Walker due to his poor performances on City's flank, Frimpong could be the perfect replacement. City is facing a personnel crisis in this position, and signing a young, high-profile academy graduate seems like a no-brainer. But there is one downside. Frimpong cannot guarantee defensive stability and reliability. Under Xabi Alonso, he's developed more as an artist than a defensive powerhouse. However, these are minor details, and we're confident Pep will find a way to utilize this talent. Let's evaluate this potential transfer. Pros: an academy graduate, youth plus star potential. One of the most talented players in his position. Cons: inconsistent defensive qualities. Bayer Leverkusen may demand a high fee. Finally, let's talk about Lionel Messi potentially reuniting with Guardiola. This is the biggest news of recent weeks. Reports suggest Man City contacted Messi and were ready to offer him a 6-month loan. The MLS season is over, and Leo is currently a free agent. We've seen similar cases before, when veterans returned from America to top European leagues during the offseason. Beckham at Milan, Henry's 2-month loan at Arsenal, Ibrahimovic's legendary career finish. It's not unusual. Messi continues to play for the Argentina national team and performs at a high level. His stats are as impressive as they were 5 years ago, so fitness wouldn't be an issue for this loan. What could influence this move is Leo's motivation. After his triumphant World Cup, it became clear that Messi was tired of modern football's intensity. Having won all possible trophies, he opted for a more comfortable environment in MLS. Now, he's presented with an opportunity to return to the world's most competitive league. Does Leo need this? It's an open question, and we'll follow his decision closely. For Manchester City, Messi's 6-month loan would undoubtedly benefit the club. First, it would significantly boost popularity amid ongoing legal battles with the league. Second, a player like Leo is exactly what City needs right now. Kevin De Bruyne has struggled with injuries and motivation, and Messi could be the solution. Guardiola could integrate him into the team, and Leo could break more football records, this time alongside Erling Haaland. It would be a legendary story. Let's assess this potential loan. Pros: boosts media presence and popularity. An ideal playmaker for Guardiola's tactics. Simply legendary. Cons: Leo's motivation to return to a top league is questionable. A high risk for all parties involved. Friends, we're confident this winter transfer window will be exciting, with many high-profile transfers. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and hit the notification bell. We bring you the most relevant and interesting news about top English clubs.